When I was younger, I remember some strange stuff happening when I was living in a townhouse. My family just moved there when I was 9. I got the room on the left side, while my brother got the room on the right. Now, he didn't tell me this until years later, but after we moved in, he had a hard time sleeping. Each night, he lay under the covers, afraid to move, staring into his doorway, because each night, a figure would stand there in the darkness. He described it like a giant from legend, tall and broad and menacing. Its teeth were clenched together and bared like it was angry and smiling without curving its lips upward. But the eyes were the most peculiar, wide and open. The giant's eyes were bloodshot. There was no iris in these eyes, just a lonely pupil connected to nerves. The sclera was not white, but multicolored, like if you turned the eye into the shape of a clock, a different color would rule every hour. The giant would stand in his doorway with a face frozen in anger, while my brother lay frozen in fear each night. He never told me when it stopped happening, but that wasn't the only weird thing to happen in that room. There was one time my brother, our 2 friends, and me were playing video games in that room when I look over and see something weird. A long dark whisker-looking thing, slowly moving up between the wall and the bed. I point it out to my brother and we all look over. The whisker is an antenna, we find out, as a centipede crawls up the wall. Normally centipedes I've seen have been as long as my pinky finger and wide as a toothpick. Not this one. Crawling up my brother's wall was as wide as my middle finger and as long as my hand from the tip of my finger to my wrist. It was as red as blood in a sewer. My brother loved bugs back then, so he was happy to catch it, but I have always wondered what a creature like that is doing in a regular bedroom. A few years later, our parents told us to switch rooms, and my brother was thrilled for some reason. I would soon understand why. In my old room, I wouldn't get many nightmares. I slept pretty well, but my brother's old room was way different. During my time in there, I would try to look in the doorway at night to see if I could catch a glimpse of the giant, but I would only see our laundry room across the hall, which I also did find pretty menacing. There was a time when I invited my friend over to watch Insidious for Halloween. For months after, I lay under my covers facing the wall in fear. My parents had the heat on, so I was baking, but I dared not look behind me or move because I felt like something was watching me. Each night, I felt like something red had risen through the floor beside my bed and would stare at me as I slept. I would have so many dreams for months about it. The feeling was unshakable. One night I was feeling brave, so when I felt like I was being watched, I looked behind me into the darkness. Perhaps it was a trick of my eyes, but I could have sworn I saw a face made of shadows with horns. I never tried that again. By the summer, I tried to ignore those feelings and just sleep. One night in that room, I had a dream I saw a doll with my own face on it, and the next moment, I felt like I was choking. In the dream, I look in the mirror to see the doll has a noose around my neck and is choking me, but when I look back, I'm holding the end of the noose. The next summer, the place quickly became a haven for roaches, sewer bugs, and centipedes, so we had to leave. I'm telling you, it was scary how quickly over the span of a summer, our townhouse went from no signs to infested. The way that place decayed was like it was on time-lapse. Cupboards suddenly didn't work, the water was rusty, and you could find bugs in the carpet anywhere. It was like we were living in a place that was condemned for decades, but it changed so quickly. It felt like death. You see, over the years, my brother and I would try to reason out these events with logic. Young boy having a nightmare, bugs in the basement, watching a scary movie. But we both couldn't deny there was something in that room, something that would keep us up at night to watch us.